Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to discuss the headers for this thing. Why I choose what I did and what all. And I'm also going to put a link down the bottom. And you're going to be surprised of the outcome of the headers and what you could choose for your engine. So if you want to go with the high dollar name brand $400 to $1,000 headers or whatever, you can. Or you can go with a cheaper set that's not tuned and see the difference. Also, I think they talk about, the short tube. Of course, they're going to talk about the long tube, the short tube header as well. You're really going to be surprised on, and it could be how their exhaust is set up too, but they did run them on a dyno. They showed the difference between, a cheap eBay header, I guess, and a $400 or $500 name brand header that's tuned. A tuned header, all tubes are the same length. Okay. What I had done on mine, they're not a tuned header, but what I did have was a 3/8 flange put on them. See, the thicker the flange there really is better for you. So if you got the thin flange header, and people say, oh, I hate headers, they leak all the time. Well, if the surfaces are flat and you got a thick flange header, 3/8, if you go with a little 1/8 inch or small flange across there, I ran them, they're going to leak eventually. They're going to start leaking on you. Well, what I'm going to do with these here today is, when I talked to the guy, it was my mistake, I guess. But I told him I was doing the old school, doing a new block with the old school heads on it, older, Gen 1 heads back. And I should have told him a little, later on, really, or early. But anyway, they do match, they do fit. But if I was to take the header off in the truck, the holes are so close, you'll end up fighting them. And who wants to fight a header, right? I mean, we do anyway, we bolt them up. But what I'm going to do with these, I do have to, I did have which most people, the wire holders or your dipstick bracket and what all, they're on there. But with the header on there, with it on there, I've got to fix the dipstick bracket. But I'll be fighting the holes on the bolt up. Now, there's a couple bolts you can go with. You can go with just an Allen hex bolt, or like this here. It's like a 7/16 head on here, the wrench size for your tighter places where you can get a torque on it. They gotta be torqued. But what we're gonna do today, I'm gonna match these headers up, what it's gonna take to do it, and get it where they'll fit. And this thing is getting closer to the run stand. My gauges are on the way for it. I gotta build me a little gauge cluster for it where I can watch the thing while it's running. I don't have a dyno here. I don't even know. There may be a dyno somewhere here in DFW. I don't know. I hadn't talked to anybody or even asked. I'm sure somebody around here got one. DFW's got whatever you need, so I'm sure they do. We'd carry it over there and maybe put it on there. But I really don't want to know what horsepower it is. All I want is a good running engine. You know what I mean? If it runs good, performs good, I'm good. So let's get into this right here and see what it's going to take to match these headers, these heads, get them on there and move on with something else, because we got to get this thing done. I think there's 96 days left, for this no name national deal up there. And you figure, was it like 14 weekends? And again, 14 weekends, but I'm only going to get, well, the way this weather is, being 100 degrees at noon, I'm only getting half a day per day I'm off. For 14 weekends, 7 days? I don't know, man. Don't be it'd be close. I may make it, may not, you know. But anyway, either way, I'm not going to rush on it. I'm not going to halfway do it just to go. We don't do that. Let's get this on here and see what's going to happen. First thing first, let's put just a couple bolts. Oops, it's built in. I got some more right here. Let's put a couple bolts in it that will go, and go from there and see which ones we will have to trim, which ones we won't have to trim. I do know I'm going to have to trim my the dipstick holder bracket. Stay right there. Don't move. Don't you move. Let's see if we can get one another hole. Like I say, some of them have to fight, some of them won't, but I do not want to fight it. So the ones that will go, we'll run with them. As long as there's a gap, so you don't have to fight it. You don't want to fight them in the truck. That there's pretty close, so we'll trim that one. I'm sure probably more than half will have to be trimmed a little bit. Let's run these here on up some. And these headers here, they're pretty open where I can get a torque wrench on any of the bolts. Even this one here, I could do like a swivel to it, you know, just like I'm doing right here. This wrench ain't straight on it, but I can torque it enough to where I know I got decent torque on it though. Right there. Like I said, we don't want to fight them in the truck. Car, whatever you want to put them in. You want these holes big enough, you have some kind of play with them. See how close these here are. And that one there. I have to fight it some. You don't want to fight them. If you got to fight them, man, that's a pain in there to fight a header bolt. And we all know that. But you don't want to put up with any kind of fight on them. You want to be able to just start them easy, roll with them. Okay. And we'll mark the ones we have to trim a little bit. I think we already checked this. I'm gonna recheck it just in case. I'm gonna give it a chance. I'll go cutting on it. If you're in the car or in a truck in a bind, that one there. Okay. We know where we're at. So let's mark the ones we're going to be trimming on this thing. So we don't have to fight them. Of course, both sides have to be done. What we got here? I got a mess back here. I know that. We're all right though. Let me get my marker. My handy dandy dry erase. I'm gonna look in these holes to see how close they are. The bolt will go in it. I don't have a doubt. My mind will. Nobody wants to fight a bolt. All right. And then my the dipstick bracket it matches the head. It's dead on the head. And the head's been dead on with everything. It's been other things I've picked up. But here, I want to leave a lot of the bracket behind it and just take out what it will take to bolt the bracket up with our dipstick tube. I just want to take out what I want to do with the tube. I want to leave as much metal on this as we can. Nothing's going to be bolted up back in the back. Not worried about it. We do this. If we do these here, the way I got them marked, and the ones that the bolt holes are in, it's not marked. Those will be cut just a few thousandths off for them. So let's and don't use a drill bit. You don't want to waller out the hole real big. All you're doing is you're making a cut the closest part to the bolt hole. Because this one here, I've got room on the bottom, but on the top, it's right dead with the thread. I mean, it would be a battle in the truck. We don't want that. So let's trim these a little bit and go from there. All right, so here we are at the cutting. So we're going to do a review on these tools here I got. Now, the tool that's missing out of here, I've got it in another tool. I think it worked with doing some cutting on, so I didn't bring it back. But there is enough in these cases that I'll be able to cut what I need to cut out of this. So we're going to start out with some of this I can't even pronounce. Maybe y'all can, okay? But it was an 8-piece set. It doesn't say where. I don't think it says anywhere it was made at or whatever. And when cutting metal, maybe wrong. I don't know. I kind of follow the wolf pack, all right? That says, hey, use this type for metal, use this type for aluminum. Now the aluminum ones you better use for aluminum. We have a little different cut on. So this pack here has pretty much what we probably need to use to cut this. We got another one here. That's Obras. How you pronounce it? I wish they'd make some names we can pronounce sometimes. Other people can, but I can't. It comes in a nice case. I mean, this is a real nice case it came in. But it has all of them. Again, that one cone right here, I've got it at the shop. We had to do some cutting. I just took it with me. And so far, that all of them I've used have been great. We're fixing to find out on this type of metal here how well they cut. Of course, we're going to use these here to tighten. Now, I like these here. This is a heavier bit. I feel like, you know, of course now looks can be deceiving, so they may not work a bit. They may shatter. Who knows? We're going to find out though. But it's a heavy bit. It's probably going to be, you know, out of all of them, I would think this would probably be the best. We're going to find out. And I'm going to let y'all know when I get through cutting here which ones, what set, or what bits I think that were best to cut these. And we got 12 holes to cut. The ones that the bolts did fit, of course, they're going to be hit just a little bit. not much. But I do a lot of cutting. I've got, oh gosh, a whole drawer full of cutting bits that I use because you're always needing to cut something. And of course we'll use a cutoff wheel to cut for my dipstick bracket to go on. And I'm not going to make all the noise and water. I'm just going to cut them and come back to you and see what we got so we make this thing fit the head. Okay? Let's see what it looks like when we get done with it. Now I got everything cut. Let's try to put this header on. Let's see if it'll work. I'm gonna put it in the gasket so I won't have to take it back down for the run stand. And you might have to trim your gasket. You may not. Tell you what, it's getting hot today. It's 15 to 10. I think it's 95 out there. Getting a little warm. Hey, we got it. Uh-oh. That don't look right. Stop on that. So I'm going to take it back down, trim it some more. You know, try to get it all first shot. A lot of times it don't happen. See what we got. Take his head back out. And what I want to do is the end ones here don't feel right. They might need a little more adjusting to them. Make sure our hose is straight. Put them back in there. Let's see. What we have here. Yeah, so the end one here. Come on out now. There we go. We'll be doing okay now. Over here. So there is a little bit of battle still. What I might do, I'll take them back off. That one there, I might do a little bit of trimming on it. So the end one, we'll need to do a little bit of work at the battle. Let me see what we have to cut on it. Looks like the gasket itself on the left side. So we'll take it back down and trim the left side of the gasket a little, on the bolt hole of the gasket a little bit. The bolt hole in the header is perfect, but the gasket's in the way. So I'm going to take this down and do it again. Alright, let's try this. Now that I got it cut like I want it. I think I do anyway. Try to bolt this thing up. I think so. I think the best way sometimes is to put I'll grab another one in there, probably glue on down there somewhere. Let's hit this back one. Go. And I'm not putting anything on these because we're gonna be taking these back off to get the engine in the truck. But we don't want to battle with it. Oh, here it is right here. Yeah, I have to find a little washer here in a minute. We're just gonna get these up here right now. So the channel I was talking about this morning, about it seemed like when I'm working on a particular item on the engine, there's videos popping up. It's just funny how that happens. And you know, the new videos, they're not old ones, they're new ones. And to understand why I choose the size ports that I choose on this, you have to watch the video. If I was to tell you, you probably think I'm full of it or something, you know what I mean? But the man been using, we have been using our ideas from the late 80s, you know, early 90s, even early 80s, but I wasn't working on the early 80s. I didn't start on until 85. I think 86 was my first build. We're not going to talk about that build. This here's going to go up fine. I don't think there'll be a fight in the truck. And I probably won't torque them down two specs until I get them in the truck. But they'll be tight enough to run on the run stand. I don't want to possibly crush the gasket in any kind of way yet. We'll talk about that in a second. There. So there shouldn't be much of a battle in the truck. Maybe you're gonna have some battle, but not all of it. You know, try to fix all your battles before it happens. You know what I mean? And of course our dipstick tube will be perfect. I'll build a stud here for it with a sleeve come over top of it where it'll hit this. That'll work out great. I did trim some where the temperature sensor goes to. I just put a little bit of rainbow there just in case needed. So fix your headers if you can before, you know, while your engine's out. Mess with them, get them where there won't be such a battle. A lot of people will not put headers on because the battle and the leaks. Get thick flanges and get some good bolts. These here are recommended by a lot of people, so I'm gonna try these out and see if they work. Unlike GM, now I don't know what's up with their, like the old 5s, that's what mine is. LS's, I'm sure a bunch more does it also, but the exhaust bolts are breaking. All four of mine are broke on that Suburban. all four corners. If you want to see it, put in the comments you want to see it and watch the next video. Next Sunday, I will throw that in there and show you pictures where them are broken on that Suburban. It's not leaking yet, but you can figure there's only what, 4 manifold bolts total holding the manifolds on that Suburban. It's got 300,000 on it, but yeah, all of them are broke, and I'm gonna drive it till it goes leaking. It's not leaking now, so we're gonna leave it at that. So the video to watch, there's a couple of them gonna be in the links below. I think one of them is Motor Trend. I think that's it. They're gonna show you what difference of horsepower is between the high dollar tuned header versus the short tube header, and then if you was to buy a cheaper eBay header or have one built, he's going to show you the difference, and you're going to really be surprised the difference between, you know, a $400 to $1,000 set to a $100 set or so, something cheap from a garage sale or something, or eBay. So these are the right length tubes for this application. And the other guy I will tell you about, his name is David Vizard. He put up a video last night, and of course I started my video way before this one came on, so it ain't like I watched his and said, well, you got the information from David. No, I didn't. We've been using this information since the 80s, so take it at that. There's a lot of stuff that I'm doing to mine that we used back in the 80s, early 90s, that, you know, done all the testing and all the running and how it was performed, made changes. I mean, down to the heat of the spark plug. You know, built many of them. So I'll put his link below on that video, and he talks about the headers, and he'll explain to you what you need. I mean, I could, but it'd be like me copying him, but I'm not going to do that. Just he'll explain it to you, port size, why I decided to go with the 1/500. You'll figure that out in the video. But watch David and watch Motor Trend on buy you some $1,000 headers. Run if you want to. I had some built with the right length tubes. Okay. So anyway, I want to thank you for watching. Be sure and put anti-seize on your bolts if you ever go to, when you put them in permanently. Anti-seize them, and they can work out. We're going to try to get this thing on the run stand pretty quick. I know it gets hot. You know, I'm out here about a half a day, 2 days a week, all I really got, Saturday and Sunday. So I'm going to do what I can to get this thing done. Like I mentioned, it's like 7 or 8 total day hours that I have, and I'm moving on it pretty quick. I think I am. I'm getting it done. You know, I'm no hurry. So what happens happens, and we'll do it from there. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you next Sunday.